Okay, this is one version of the PricePerSlice app running, and I just want to go over the GUI real quick. Here we have a pizza cost label with an ability to enter a pizza cost here in this text box. We have a pizza size prompt with the select pizza size. This is a list picker. When you click it, a list comes up and you're able to select a pizza size. That minimizes the user errors for typing and things like that. The number of slices, this is a button that increases the number of slices. The minus button decreases the number of slices. The current number of slices is shown here. We can't go below 0, so we have to build in protection for that. This is the cost per slice. Now, interesting here, waste is not considered, or recycled is not considered. So, for instance, if you want one slice and you paid $12 for the pizza, the price per slice would be $12. When you go to two slices, that would be reduced to $6, etc. This tells us how many pizzas we need. It rounds up because if you need like 3.1 pizzas, you actually need 4 pizzas. So it utilizes the ceiling function. And then here's the total cost. That's the number of pizzas times the pizza cost, and that does not include taxes, obviously. So let's take a look at how this works inside it. So we'll go over here to our app inventor, and the most important thing probably here is this block. So when you click the plus button, you update slices variable, you add 1 to it, then you set the text to the number of slices, then you call a procedure called update number of pizzas. Update number of pizzas would be right here. So you set the global number of pizzas to the ceiling, remember rounding up, of how many slices divided by 8 because you have 8 slices per pizza, and then you concatenate a string that says pizzas needed, and then it updates the label of pizza need. So remember we're on the add button, so we just called update number of pizzas. Now we'll update total. Update total just takes the number of pizzas and multiplies by the cost that was entered in the text box, and that's the global total cost. And then we set the label of the text label to that value by joining total cost with a $sign, and we format the total cost to 2 decimal places so it looks like money value. And then the last one, we first check to see if the slices is greater than 0 because we're going to end up dividing by this number, and we don't want to divide by 0. That would cause a problem. And if it is greater than 0, we call update slice cost. Now update slice cost is right here. So we'll set the text to the result of this calculation. We're formatting it as a decimal, and that's the total cost. So if we spent $24 for pizza and we divide it by the number of slices that we need, because like as I said, if we only need one slice, that's a very expensive slice. And a similar thing is done with the subtract button. We call update slice cost, which I showed you just a moment ago. Um, we set the global slices to what it was, -1, so we decrement it. If it goes below 0, so if it's less than 0, we set it to 0 because negative slices don't make any sense. And we update the text to the new slice number. We update the number of pizzas that we need. We saw that calculation. We update the total. We also saw that calculation. And if the number of slices is greater than 0, then we will update the slice cost. All right, another thing that's interesting is if we go to the designer, you'll see that we have this select pizza size. The way you put the elements in the list is you just place them right here separated by commas. So 8-inch comma, 10-inch comma, 12-inch comma, and 16-inch. So that'll be available to choose here. Now once you choose it, right now it's at the beginning it says select pizza slice, but once you choose it, you're going to trigger this block after you pick what size, this block that says after picking. That's an event. So after we pick a slice, then we're going to change the value of the label of that list picker to whatever it is they picked, the selection. So it's going to change to 8-inch or 12-inch or 16-inch. And then we're going to call update total and update unit cost. Now unit cost is how much it costs for a square inch of pizza. Now you get a break, the bigger pizza you buy, the cheaper it should become in terms of the unit cost. So let's take a look at what happens here when we calculate unit cost. So calculate unit cost is down here. And so it all gets started right about in here. So let's see what happens. So this is the cost of the pizza, right? And then here we're dividing it by the area of the pizza. Now, how are we finding the area of the pizza? Well, at the beginning, we initialized a list of pizza where we had a calculation right here. This is actually pi r squared, pi r squared, pi r squared for a 8-inch pizza, a 10-inch pizza, a 12-inch pizza, and a 16-inch pizza. Because you recall, the formula for finding the area of a circle is pi r squared. Well, the radius is half the diameter, and pizzas are sold by diameter. So an 8-inch pizza has a diameter of 4. Well, 4 squared is 16. A 10-inch pizza has a diameter of 5. Well, 5 squared is 25, etc. And so you multiply that squared radius times pi, and you get the area. Well, notice the first element is for the 10-inch, the second element, or excuse me, the first one is for the 8-inch, the second one is for the 10-inch, the third one is for the 12-inch, and the fourth one is for the 16-inch. So those are sort of preset values, and we use those to simplify the calculation. And so over here, whatever the person picked in terms of the list picker, the 8, 10, 12, or 16, we're going to know it's going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, the first item, the second item, the third item, the fourth item. And so that list picker index also corresponds with the corresponding area of the pizza. And so we're going to get from the list areas, and that's what this list is. We're going to get the item that is currently the selection. That's going to be the area of the pizza. We're going to divide that into the cost of the pizza, and that'll be the price per unit or per square inch. So let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and get an $18 pizza, okay? And let's make it a big pizza, 16-inch pizza. So you can see it's 9 cents per square inch. We don't have any slices, so it's free. But if we go plus one slice, we spend $18 for that pizza, so it's $18 for the slice. Now the slice is $9, and then we can go all the way up to a full pizza. So that's 8 slices, and it's 2.25 per slice. We only need one pizza, so that's 18 bucks. Once we go to 9 pieces, we need 2 pizzas, and the total cost is 2 times 18, or $36. It's $4 per slice, but if we go up to 16, which is how many slices we would get for 2 pizzas, it would be $2.25 a slice. Okay. Now, this is interesting. So this is we would need 2 pizzas, but why is it 240? So it looks like, oh no, okay, that's probably correct. So I wanted to show you that if we go down to 0, it won't let us go below 0, and we have a problem here that I'd have to address, and it occurred right here when I tried to go below 0. So we probably tried to calc the slice price without checking to see if it were 0. So let's check right here, and it says when button subtract click call update slice cost. So that's the problem right here. We don't want to update the slice cost until we so we'd do something like this and get this out of there. We would want to make sure that we wouldn't call the update slice cost unless we could ensure that it was greater than 0. So here, this should not produce that error anymore because it was unprotected. It must have been a vestige from an earlier program. So I will make this code available, and hopefully you can take a look at it and ask me any questions if you have them about how a particular section works.